Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our big design reveal today. It's week 26 design reveal. Today, we are going to make a bracelet, and we're going to make a wrap bracelet. We're going to use turquoise. We're going to use gemstone chips. We're going to use wire, and we're going to design it to go for holiday. So, I had to think about what holiday to do, but I'm going to attempt to make a 4th of July patriotic kind of bracelet with turquoise. So anyways, it's going to be fun. Let's see what else is going on. We've got our 20% off of all our cards, skits, bead mixes and stuff running through the 13th, I believe. If you are not sure what all we have, feel free to check our albums on our Bead Stash Challengers group. If you're not a member, please join us. That's where we show off our designs that we make each week, and we get to see what other people are making as well. Love to have you share your designs. We give away a monthly giveaway for anybody who posts a design. So, well, you get in a drawing every month, right? Let's see what else is going on. Hey, Lorraine, welcome. We're just sorry I'm a little late, but I went for a walk this morning, and then had to cool off a little because even though it's much cooler today, it was pretty humid out there. It's now monsoon season. We actually had rain yesterday, so we're all very excited about that. I know you guys that get rain all the time don't really care. We do. Anyways, if you guys are unaware of what products I have for sale, they are all in an album in our Bead Stash Challengers group. We'd love to have you join us if you're not already a member. If you have any questions, just message Desert Cat Creations, and I'll go through the cards or any of the products with you. Again, we also have our new website. The links are in our profile on Facebook as well as YouTube. I don't know if it's went over to Instagram or not. I think it did, but I should check that. That website has just the basics, and like I said, it will not automatically apply the discount right now because I haven't figured out how to do that, but I will make sure you get your discount if you order from there. But if you're one of my usual customers, just order the way we normally order through Messenger. Makes it simple, and I can make sure that you get your discounts and all that stuff that you're entitled to. Let's see what else. I think that's pretty much it. I know a lot of people are be traveling and stuff this weekend. I'm not going anywhere, so I will be on Sunday at my regular time for week 27. So we are halfway through the year. Isn't that crazy? The other thing I posted this week was our month of June, just a recap of all the a little reel with all the projects we've made. So that's out there. If you like any of the seed bead designs, those patterns are available free also in our Bead Stash Challengers group. So if you are interested, that's another reason to join us. Let's see. So today we would normally do our drawing for a giveaway. I don't have to draw because we do have a rule you can't win 2 months in a row. So Lorraine, it's good that you're on because I think you're automatically our winner. You know what? I never decided what I was giving away this month, so it might be a surprise. It's a surprise to me because I hadn't figured that out before today. But anyways, we will give that a look-see and see what we've got. Anyways, let's get started on our project today. So I'm gonna flip the camera. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here. It zooms in a little bit. I'm sure that helps some. So what I thought I would work with today, so I have some beading wire. We're gonna put it on our project on that. I also have some craft wire, just in case I shake up my design here, because I hadn't finalized my design. But then I thought I would make a wrap bracelet. I've been wanting to use this fun cactus button that I have. I don't know if you guys can see that. So we're going to use that today. And I got some seed beads out just to do the wrap around there. So I have to use gemstone chips. So I'm combining my my gemstone chips and my turquoise requirement, because I happen to have these turquoise chips that I wanted to use. And then I pulled out, so I have to, just a reminder, so we're going to make a wrap bracelet. So I think I'm going to make a triple wrap, so about 21 inches. We'll work on that as we get closer to it. I have to use wire, so I am planning on using beading wire, but I may also put a dangle on. I haven't decided. So we're using turquoise and gemstone chips. That's our turquoise chips here. Again, we're making a wrap design, so that card was sort of redundant, and I probably should have put it back, but I didn't. And we did design something for a holiday. When I first drew the turquoise in the holiday, I actually thought about making something for Day of the Dead, because I just bought some turquoise sugar skull beads that would have been perfect. But you know what? I decided to take the challenge and do something red, white, and blue. So, you know, with gemstone chips, or with turquoise, you often see coral. So I pulled out these red coral rounds that I have. And then I pulled out some lapis heishi beads. Because you also see lapis with that. And then for white, I'm kind of torn, and I'm going to use both. I've got some shell heishi beads here, and I've also got some pearls. And I have a couple different shapes of pearls, so I thought I'd, you know, just throw in a couple pearls to just to add some white. But, you know, like I said, I could use the shell heishis. Let's see if I... All right. I'm going to use these kind of potatoey pearls, but I need to check. So I have both fine and medium soft flakes here. So I needed to see what would go through these pearls, make sure that I don't have to use fine if I use the pearls. I also should check my gemstone chips, because most of these have just thread through them, so they don't have huge holes, but those should be fine. Those are pretty good too. All right. Let's see. The turquoise may have really small holes in it, but this looks somewhat decent. So All right, so let's pull some beads off, and we'll think about this design a little bit. So one thing, so since I'm using a button, I kind of want my button to be, you know, my center point. So if I'm making a triple wrap, you know, if I want things to be at the top, you know, so I may put, you know, like maybe 2 pearls, like a third of the way through the bracelet, so they'll kind of line up with the button, right? Let's see. Excited to make something with gemstones here today, so I don't know if I want to pull those off because I may want to just grab them in the chunks. So, you know, so I need, what did I say, about 20 inches approximately of beads. So I think I will use some of these shells as well. So most of these beads, let's see, the pearls are from Stars Beads. The coral and the turquoise is actually from a place called Hole in the Wall Beads. And then I bought the lapis at the gem show. And the white shells are from Stars Beads with Phil, who was just here. So, I have stuff from all over the place. All right, so I guess I'm going to, you know, go ahead and just keep it on here and string it. So I want to string about, you know, 6.5 inches or so beads, and we'll see what's right up next to our buttons. So I think I'm going to start with the blue. I don't really have a plan here, by the way, so in case you couldn't tell. I think I'm just going to do some color blocking. And it may be pretty random. But just to remember, you know, so whatever I'm doing here will be right next to the button. We'll put some shells on here. So with some of these heishi beads, it's easier, you know, it's easy if you can grab a chunk of them and then just hold them real carefully, still together, and then you don't have to, you can get your wire through there, and that makes things a little nicer. You know, with your round beads, maybe it doesn't matter so much. I mean, it would still work with those, but I already took them off the strands, so we are going to, at least for these initial ones, use the ones that I have out here. So, you know, I like the idea of mixing types of stones and textures. I've got some different textures going here. But we're going to string up some of everything here and then see what it looks like. And I probably should have kept these chips on. String that one. I don't like that one. It's a little too close to the edge, so it's likely to break. Now, I have sort of a love-hate relationship with chips. Sometimes I don't love them, and other times I love the way they look. So, you know, you can have super big chunky ones, and you'll see a lot of people like call we'll call things chips that are just irregularly shaped. But that's, I mean, I think that's kind of fun. Let's see, what do I have? I have about 3 inches there, so I can continue on with that design, or I could go, you know, go in reverse now. I think I'll just continue on. Like I said, I don't really have a plan here, but other than I got an assortment of beads out. Right? So any of you traveling or doing anything special for the 4th? We are, our local city is supposed to have fireworks, which I thought they were canceling us the fireworks, but fortunately we got some rain yesterday, which included some fireworks. We had thunder as our first real rain since November. Since it's been really, really dry this year, so we were all thrilled. And we're supposed to get some more tonight, so. Let's see where we're at here. So we're just under 6, so I'm going to put on a couple of pieces of turquoise here. Not the full amount, and then I'm going to put one of these potato pearls on, just for fun. So my thought is that that'll show up kind of near the top, so. Oh, well, I hope you're having a great time at the lake. Vermont is lovely this time of year. I've been there. I was there in, well, I was there once in the winter because I went skiing, but I have been there in the summertime with my family. So it's pretty up there. All right, so now we just need to do that 2 more times, right? So, all right. I know this is not an exciting design to watch. And I am not worrying about keeping it even or even using the same amount of beads in each of the sections. I'm glad you got you have Wi-Fi up where you are. Sometimes when you're out, you know, in those lake areas, they don't always have the greatest reception for cell phones or anything. Okay, so Jay Peak is where I went skiing one winter quite a few years ago, and even though I grew up in Colorado, I have never been so cold skiing as I was when I was up at Jay Peak. So it was not it was not fun, actually. I mean, the skiing part was fun, but it was very cold. We actually took the train up from DC when I lived out there. So I learned something. I don't know if it's still true. I hope not, but the trains, the plumbing for the restrooms and all is underneath the train, and so if it's below 32, they didn't have running water on the train. So that was fun, because by the time we got to Pennsylvania, we had no running water on the train for the next however many hours we were on it. And then coming home, it was cold, so we didn't have any running water on the train when we got on. And then they had a water main break in DC when we got there, so there was no running water even when we got off the train until we got to our houses. So that was just added extra excitement for our trip. But, you know, we were younger then. You don't come here in the winter. Yeah, it's beautiful, but yeah, chilly. You can practically walk to Canada from there, huh? My relatives in Massachusetts have a lake house, or house, you know, near the lake. I think it's in Vermont. Might be in New Hampshire though. This, all right. Did you finish your bracelet you were making yet, Lorraine? Your seed bead bracelet? I imagine you took a couple projects with you. You're 5 miles from Canada. Well, you know, it's always good to be close to the border in case you need to escape. I have, you know, I'm less than an hour from the Mexican border, so. All right, we're at 12 inches there. And so 13 and a half. So it's time for more. Okay, so you're working on it. Now, I'm a very slow seed beater. I'm also a slow stringer. You know, some people would have this strung already, but I'm a little bit slow. Oh, actually, I don't want quite that many there. Yeah, the only bad thing about these little chips is they can break, so 12. So 14. All right. Yeah, it's just, you know, such close work. I used to do a lot of needlepoint, and it always hurt my eyes after a while. Same thing with chainmail. I used to do some really teeny tiny chainmail. I have to wear my magnifying glasses, or my headset. I haven't tried that with the seed beads. Maybe it would help. I'm just stringing along here. All right, so let's get some group of white. I don't remember what kind of shells these are, but they're super white. It's possible they're bleached, but it could be natural. This is the kind that they often dye various colors. Getting my strings all mixed up here. So. Oh, hey, Janelda. No problem. We started late. I went for a walk, so then it took me a little while to get ready. I am making a patriotic wrap bracelet with turquoise because the turquoise has to be on there as well. But I figure all these, you know, the coral and the shells and the lapis all work with the turquoise, right? So Janelle, I enjoyed seeing your flower. I went out for my walk. One of my neighbors has, I think, the same cactus you do, and I hadn't noticed. I guess I really haven't been out too much lately, and when I was out yesterday, I wasn't really paying attention. But they must have had 3 blooms last night, and then there must be a whole bunch. There was at least 3 or 4 that are coming. So I don't know why we're getting, since we had such a dry winter, I don't know why we're getting so many blooms this year. All right, we're at 18 inches. Like I said, I think I need to go to like 20, about 21 for the wrap. All right, let's see where we are. Got 12. So 19. All right. I will put a couple more pieces of coral on here, and then we will put on our button and see how that. Yeah, and like I said, I don't know why things are still. The weather has been, like I said, weird. It's causing the cactus around here to do strange things. Like the saguaros are still, like today there was as we were out walking, there was one that had a new bloom on it, and it should not be blooming anymore. And, you know, at the same time that it has ripe fruit. So it's the people that have lived here for many years are very confused as to why we're getting sort of what they call a super bloom since we had such a dry winter, because we had a super bloom a couple years ago because we'd had a wet winter. So it's very confusing. All right, so I'm putting the crimp on. We're going to use this button. This is kind of a big button, which is why I wanted to do a triple wrap. We're going to use our magic crimper, so put it in the center divot, squeeze. We get our ravioli, turn 90 degrees, squeeze, and then just slowly, lightly squeeze with it centered in there until you get your bead looking thing. And let's see if I can. I have a feeling I can't put two strands in these. Nope. All right, so we're gonna have to trim it close to the crimp. Use gravity to get this down at the other end. So let's see. I'm going to, like I said, with this, we are going to wrap it and see what looks like. I may have to add a few extra beads, and remember I need the loop, so I am going to cut a tail several inches here because I don't want to run short. Although I could, you know, add something on if I needed to. So let me see what this measurement came out to be. So it's 12. It's actually 21 right there. Looked to me like I needed a few more beads here before I do my loop. So I don't know if it'll end up being too long, but my idea is it'll also work as a necklace, right? So, all right, I'm going to assume that, and my loop will be enough. Now, since this is a nice oval button, I want the loop just big enough to go around the short side. But maybe get my, now this is off the spool. You know, I don't want to make it too big. No, so actually, I don't need those extra beads. See, it's good to check before. All right, so that, oh, there we go. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I had a crimp bead out, so don't forget, put your crimp bead on first. And we're gonna just you know, to make it a little prettier, we're going to put some seed beads on our string that goes, our loop that goes around the button. And I probably could have used bigger size seed beads. These are size 11s, but because, I mean, they make a nice wrap, but on this medium wire there, it's a little thick. So I hope you guys get to enjoy some fireworks wherever you are, you know, whether it's small towns or whatever. You always get some tourists that try to set up fireworks around here, which makes me angry because we've had such a drought, you know, up until yesterday at least. And it's actually illegal for them to be doing it because of the drought, but I am sure somebody will be setting off fireworks nearby because they always do. All right, let's check this. That's pretty good. I may do one less, but we'll double check once we stick this through the crimp bead. Just we want to make sure our button fits, right? Yeah, they do. Yeah. I mean, you know, there's supposed to be not any fireworks this year yet. The fireworks stand is down, you know, by the grocery store, so I don't ever understand why they allow them. Although, you know, it's not the big fireworks. People go to New Mexico to buy because they have apparently looser laws on fireworks. At least so I've been told by people that grew up here. They'll go to New Mexico to buy their fireworks. All right, I'm just trying to tighten this up. All right, let's make sure our button fits through there. Oh, you know what? Well, it's doable. I might actually want to add a couple more. Because it does have to reach all the way around the bottom. But, all right, I'm just going to put like 2 more beads. And we're asked not to do fireworks on the lake. Oh, okay. Well, you know, we have all our wildlife here too, that live. I mean, I post things all the time. My walk today, we saw a pair of roadrunners. I don't usually see 2 of them, so that was exciting. And a couple rabbits, but you know, everything does not do well with the fireworks. All right, let's see. Before we do the crimp, gotta check and see if we can get the bracelet on, right? I think that'll be okay, so. All right. Oh, there we go. I was like, where did I put my magic gripper? All right, back to ravioli time. And be careful not to crush your seed beads. Yeah, the dogs do. They always, our animal shelter here is always way over capacity, and it'll be even worse after tomorrow, so because everybody's dogs get out. I guess that's long enough piece. I should keep it. All right, so we've got our wrap bracelet, and it's nice and patriotic, but it includes our turquoise gemstone chips. And let's see if I can get it on my wrist here so that we can see what it looks like. I usually wear bracelets on my on my left wrist, but I mean my right wrist. All right, so seems to want to hang that way, but so as part of my design here, like I said, I did a triple wrap because this button was kind of big. I wanted to have a somewhat substantial bracelet, and then I added these two pearls, at a third of the way through, so that they would end up kind of somewhere near the button, and it actually lined up somewhat more than I thought. And the great thing about triple wraps is what's great about triple wrap bracelets? I know you guys know. Why do we like triple wrap bracelets? Yes, they can be used as necklaces. They're long enough. Good job, Lorraine. All right, Janelda, thanks for joining us. Look forward to seeing your sandals. All right, and I've got some beads to pick up here, so let's get this flipped over for a final time. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. I hope you guys wear something patriotic. If you don't have anything to wear, it's time to make something. And don't be afraid to add turquoise to your favorite patriotic design. As always, if you haven't already, please like and follow Desert Cat Creations on Facebook and Instagram. It really helps us get more visibility. And, if you like posts, you don't even have to comment. It helps the algorithms make me more visible. Also, YouTube. I've been keeping things up on YouTube. So if we can, my goal this year is to make sure I get enough subscribers, which is only 50. And we're at 30 something right now. If I get enough subscribers on YouTube, I'll be able to broadcast on both those at the same time. So I'm trying to, build up a little bit on YouTube. I actually had I posted which I think I shared with you guys, I don't know, a reel with pictures of the cactus blooms earlier this spring, and it actually kind of like went viral for me. I mean, I got like over 1,500 views, which was exciting. But I haven't posted one in a while. You know, there's a lot less blooms out right now. So, anyways, that is great. So, yeah, I hope all of you have a great 4th of July. Stay safe. Remember, beading and jewelry requires your fingers, so watch out if you're doing sparklers or fireworks. don't lose a finger. You don't want anybody to get hurt. And be careful if you're traveling. You know, 4th of July is a crazy time, especially on the East Coast, I think. But anyways, all right, we'll be back on Sunday. We will be drawing for week 27, so we are officially into the second half of the year. And we'll make some project yet to be determined. And again, Lorraine, congratulations on winning June's giveaway. I'll let you know what it is. So, I hope you enjoy your vacation, and I will see all of you on Sunday. Thanks again.